Guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make these nautical earrings. I'll also be covering a tale that is shrouded in betrayal, blood and piracy. Here are the materials you will need. You will need various colors of polymer clay. I've chosen bright colors like yellow, orange and red for my sunset. You will also need polymer clay tools and a clay press. This story takes us to a remote tropical island, 350 miles off the coast of Central America, the only island in the Pacific Ocean that is completely covered in rainforest. Cocos Island. The island's thick jungle is a world in itself, with mossy floors, tall fern trees, steep mountain cliffs, and towering waterfalls. It has been described as the most beautiful island on Earth. However, its beauty is mostly unknown due to the island's inhospitable and uninviting nature. If you're thinking of visiting, you'll find the island is surrounded with rocky shorelines, so it's safe to say that no one will be planning their next holiday vacation at this island. If this wasn't already a deterrent, then there's another reason the island is foreboding. It bears the tip of an ancient volcano. The surface has formed from basalt, or otherwise cooled lava. The appearance of the island gives off a prehistoric and lost world feeling, which is why it became the inspiration for the Jurassic Park movies. But no, there are no dinosaurs on this island. As captivating as the island is, it holds something far more incredible. Legend has it that hidden on this island, lost for over 2 centuries, is one of the largest pirate treasures in history. We go back to 16th century South America. After winning in battle, Spanish conquerors took over the city of Lima, which was at the time home to the Inca people. The Spanish had one main desire in mind: gold, and the Inca had plenty of it. Lima was at the time the richest city in the whole of South America. The Spanish, having acquired all this wealth, enjoyed living in great prosperity. They amassed vast quantities of gold. Among these treasures were coins, religious artifacts, Inca gold relics, chests containing chalices coated with precious gemstones, topaz, emeralds, diamonds, rubies, and other gemstones, bejeweled swords, crowns, daggers, and other weaponry, jewelry, and all manners of valuables. They had elaborate, large gold crosses, and they even made 2 life-size statues of Saint Mary holding a baby Jesus, as well as the apostles, in solid gold and encrusted with gems. The church back in the day wasn't only a good place to go and pray, but also a good place to marvel at these intricate designs, as the church held a lot of these treasures. Today, this collection is said to be worth over $209 million. The treasures sat protected in the hands of the Spaniards until the 19th century. Conflicts began raging across South America. The Peruvian War of Independence marked the beginning of Spain's downfall. Colonies began fighting back against Spain, plaguing wars for independence and demanding their land back. Lima soon became a target, and the city fell under heavy pressure. A panic grew among the high officials and the church. They watched as the revolt was coming for them and decided to quickly evacuate the city. By 1821, the leaders of the revolution eagerly awaited their moment to get a hold of the vast amassed wealth. They managed to seize partial control of Lima, but the treasures were nowhere to be found. While Lima was on the edge of revolt, unbeknownst to the revolutionists, the Spanish officials, out of fear of mass plunder, made a plan to preserve their treasure. They sent the treasure away in a desperate attempt for safekeeping. The plan was to move the treasure to the port of Callao in Mexico. They would then enlist a merchant to help them smuggle the treasure out to open sea. Once there, the ship would wait for the outcome of the war. If the revolutionaries were defeated, the treasure would be returned to the homeland. A British commander of a merchant ship was entrusted with this duty. This man was said to be upright and reliable, and also neutral to the wars, which was perfect. His name was Captain William Thompson. The Spaniards knew entrusting him was a gamble, but they inevitably had to rely on Thompson and his crew to keep their treasure safe. What could go wrong, right? Hence, the mass of treasure was boarded the ship, the Mary Dear, within a couple of days. Just as a precaution, the Spaniards placed a number of priests and armed soldiers on board too. Soon after, the vessel embarked towards the open seas with the mission to cruise off the coast. However, all did not go according to plan. After they had set sail, the crew became gold crazy. Looking at all that gold, it would change an honest man. Captain William Thompson ultimately could not resist temptation. He gathered his crew together and they decided to mutiny. During the darkness of night, they seized the opportunity and murdered the Spanish soldiers and priests, most of whom were still asleep, and threw their bodies into the water. They changed course and sailed to Cocos Island off the coast of present-day Costa Rica. Cocos Island was a popular spot for whalers and traders that provided a port to anchor their ship and access fresh water springs. Although the island had few access points, it was mostly inaccessible due to its dense jungle. This, however, presented a good hiding spot for the treasure. The crew proceeded to dock on the island, unload all the treasure, move it to a disclosed location on the island, and buried their precious cargo. It is possible they may have chosen one of the abundant caves there. They then agreed to split up and lay low until the situation had settled and they could come back later and retrieve their spoils. They set sail again, but no sooner did they manage to depart the island, misfortune struck them and they were intercepted by a Spanish naval frigate. A fight ensued, and Mary Dear, being the merchant vessel, was quickly overtaken and the entire crew captured. Their plot for great fortune was hindered. The crew were put on trial. They were facing accusations of piracy, theft, mutiny, and eventually sentenced to execution by hanging. All perished with the exception of Thompson and his first mate, James Alexander Forbes, who made a last desperate attempt to survive execution by offering to take the Spanish straight to the location of the stolen treasure. The Spaniards took this opportunity to reclaim their treasure. They escorted Thompson and Forbes back to the island. Once there, they were taken ashore and Thompson and Forbes were forced to lead the Spaniards to their secret stash. However, the men proved to be slick. As they were traveling through the dense tropical jungle, the men seized this opportunity to escape. Before the Spaniards knew it, Thompson and Forbes fled into the jungle. For 3 weeks, the Spanish tried to search for the men and the treasure, but failed. The land was completely foreign to them, and they ended up on a goose chase. Thompson and Forbes succeeded at evading capture. Unlike the Spaniards, they knew the island well and could hide out and wait for the Spanish to leave. They risked their lives surviving off the island. The Spaniards never found them, and eventually they gave up and sailed back to the mainland, leaving the two men as the sole bearers of this secret. The men were stranded on the island, feeding off of fish, birds, eggs, and coconut, until months later a British whaler passed by. The men were relieved and signaled to the whaler. What the whaler saw before him were two half-starved figures staggering towards the ship, claiming they had been shipwrecked. The whaling ship took these men on board for a safe journey back to the mainland. The whole time, the men kept the knowledge of the stolen treasure to themselves. In the following months and years, Thompson and Forbes lived seemingly normal lives, working and starting a family. They, however, made detailed documents and maps to the buried treasure with the likelihood of making the journey back to collect their treasure. Thompson died soon after, leaving Forbes as the last person alive to know the exact location of the buried treasure. Forbes spent his years sailing all over the Pacific, but it isn't certain why he never went back to the island. He took residence in California and San Francisco, where he became a wealthy and influential businessman. His family became one of the wealthiest in the region. All the while, he kept the documents and maps locked away in a safe, burying his knowledge, except for the stories he would tell to his children about gold and treasure. His tales were elaborate and intriguing, but were merely taken as tall tales. Before his death, he passed on these documents and the map to his eldest son and heir, Charles Forbes. Being wealthy and influential, Charles did not feel the need to go treasure hunting. So the documents kept passing down the line until eventually James Forbes IV, having an adventurous spirit, decided to try his luck at the treasure. He made the journey to Cocos Island, but when he got to the island, however, his luck fell short, as there were armed men observing them from boats offshore, scaring them off and abandoning their quest. James Forbes IV died without returning, and the documents were passed down to his nephew, William B. Forbes. We don't really know what happened after this and whether anyone has tried to have a crack at those maps. What is left of the treasure, unfortunately, isn't gold. Preserved in the Caracas Museum is a unique document purporting the inventory of the buried treasure, listing all the items that make up the treasure of Lima. Over the years, many have gone treasure hunting to seek out this fortune, including notable names like Franklin Roosevelt. It was an enormous quantity of loot, so it begs the question of how no one has been able to find it or even see it. Well, with ever-changing nature, fresh vegetation, earthquakes, shifting sands and landslides, it is possible that nature has covered up the treasure deep in the earth. Attempts have been made at exploring parts of the island, the remote caves, tunnel creeks and dense jungle foliage, but it seems treasure hunters have exhausted their efforts. And for those who are still curious, according to Costa Rican law, the island is now off limits to visitors. It has been designated a World Heritage Site. The treasure remains buried in the depths of the land. The location is a mystery, a secret the island will never reveal. Once you are done molding your earrings, bake them at 140 degrees for 40 minutes. Once cooled, you may paint on finer details. Here is the final result. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed today's story, please subscribe to my channel in the link shown to hear more. I hope to see you soon. Bye!